Hey everyone, Matt here. It is Wednesday. That is the main event time where we go over our main topics for the week. So if you're watching or listening, this is the meat and potatoes of the episode. If we happen to have any news to discuss as well, that's where we'll talk about it here. For the full episode, check us out on Saturdays. Thanks for watching and listening. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to another episode of Stack Your Points. As always, I'm Matt from the Matt Lawson YouTube channel. I'm joined this week by Tariq from Reek's Rewards. How are you, Tariq?
I am good. Had a pretty good weekend. Enjoyed some good time, even though it was a busy weekend. But, you know, it's Monday night, recording night, and I'm locked and loaded, ready to go.
Absolutely. We're also joined this week by Mike from What's the Points. Mike, how are you? And tell us a little bit about your channel.
What's up, Matt? Thanks for having me. Hey, Tariq. Yeah, my channel is fairly new, and I called it "What's the Points" because I'm trying to have a little bit of a critical take. You know, kind of cut through the hype, cut through the marketing. But that said, I'm not immune to it either. So just trying to keep this hobby, helpful. Helpful from a financial perspective, but also to keep it fun and interesting and creatively. Engaging.
Definitely. No, a lot of your videos, the ones that I've been able to watch, have definitely been good thinkers for me to kind of chew the cud on that one, on some of those topics. But definitely check out Mike's channel. What's the Points? Now, just a programming note, RJ is currently out this week. Last minute thing, it happens. We may or may not have Lonnie join us. If he pops up, hey, great. If not, no big deal. For that, we're going to move over to our news roundup and topics, and we do have a couple of pieces of news. Mike very courteously dropped in some news pieces that have kind of been floating. So the first thing you mentioned was caution on Smartly. This is in regard to the US Bank Smartly card. The process to get your 4% cash back on it is harrowing, to say the least. You have to open a Smartly checking account, a Smartly savings account, and then you'll need to get $100,000 in assets into US Bank, whether that is through US Bank brokerage, which my interview with SpeathCo, if you have watched it, the first part is all about his experiences with US Bank and their US Bank investing. That was fraught with terror. For SpeathCo, your mileage will definitely vary. If you have $100,000 already in retirement, you can move it over from an IRA. Cool. If you don't, be careful. Or you could just move $100,000 in savings into Smartly Savings or any of the other qualifying balances. But the process to get that 100K for the 4K for the 4% may not be worth it. And if you've gone across the subreddit r/credit cards, the last week or so has just been complaint after complaint after complaint. Lonnie, I know Smartly isn't a card that is of any real interest to you, but have you been watching things since the launch last week and the discontinuation of the Altitude Reserve?
Dude, I haven't even watched TV in the last week, so this is all new information to me. So I am not bowing out. I'll give it a response when I catch up to the news that has happened since the last time I was home. But this is the first time I'm hearing about it. I mean, I haven't even commented it on one of your videos, so I've been out of the game for a while.
Yeah. Just viewers know that I did not do this intentionally.
Sorry, y'all. You're gonna have to rain check an answer for me. Let me get caught up.
You got it. Mike, your any reactions to caution on Smartly? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really glad I watched that because I was starting to get kind of sucked into that whole thing. I was like, oh yeah, I could move my IRA over there, and I was really looking into that. And then my IRA is with Vanguard, and I got into Vanguard because before I was into points and miles, I was even more into financial independence. And that's kind of how I learned about points and miles. We used to call it travel hacking. I don't know if anyone still calls it that, but sure, I could invest in Vanguard funds via ETFs, by any brokerage. And so on paper, I think it could work. I'll just summarize by saying, let others be the early adopters first.
Yeah.
I mean, not that brokerage, not that U.S. Bank is new to brokerages, but for me, the biggest takeaway from watching that interview was that it seems like U.S. Bank is more geared towards the wealth management stuff and not as much towards individually directed investor. So because of that, it sounds like the service level and their infrastructure is kind of a mess and pretty bare bones. And so that's not the experience I want to have, even if I'm not actively trading, even if I'm just parking it there. The only way I could see it working for me is if I was in Stan, the credit frog situation, where he's saving a big down payment for a house and he's just going to park all of his savings there. Then that seems a lot more straightforward.
Yep. My biggest reason I'm down on US Bank is just it feels like all of their reward systems are just 3-card Monty, and I can't follow it. Like, there's flex perks are still a thing. You've got the altitude points, you've got the Cash Plus card points, you've got the shopper rewards card points, you've got all of these various these various points across the board, and like no real centralized point system. Like with Chase, I know what my points are. I know where my points go. I'm happy. Wells Fargo, I know where my points are. I can move my cash back into my points and transfer my points as needed, but my points are still 1 cent per point. I know where that is. It's fairly simple. It's a little bit more complicated than Chase and American Express, but I know where my points are. I know where they're going. US Bank, I have no idea where anything is. They have their point. Like, there are US Bank points in a drawer right behind me, probably. That joke did not land, sorry. But yeah, it is crazy the way that things go. Now, if Smartly if you could take your Smartly points and mix it with Cash Plus, or take your Smartly points and mix it with Altitude, I'd be far happier. But yeah, the way that they operate points just makes me go, nope, I'm out. Figure it out first before I come to you. Tariq, did you have any thoughts on Smartly's launch so far?
So I'm going to start with the U.S. Bank points that you mentioned. It's kind of like Navy Federal points. Like, there's no consistency, congruency. You could have Navy Federal points with the More Rewards card, or your Cash Rewards card, or your Flagship Reward card. Same thing. I'll be honest, I don't like the idea of trying to move your retirement account to a certain brokerage just for extra points or extra cash back on a card. If you are going to do it, maybe do it with like Merrill, just because Bank of America knows what they're doing more than US Bank does, and there's not as much fees. I looked at like the whether you're a individual managed account IRA, I think they charge like $50 a year just to have it, or like the other fees if it's like a managed account. Don't do that. It's not worth 4% cash back on a card. Just stick with the big three on your brokerage: Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard. Keep it simple. I mean, like I said, if you're going to do it, maybe just do Merrill Lynch, just because even though the rewards tier isn't as high as Smartly is going to be, you don't have to worry about paying like any extra on your retirement accounts or your savings, because realistically, it's a headache. It kind of like when you're merging your personal finance retirement with points and miles, or in this case, just cash back, it ain't worth it. Keep your personal finance outside of points and miles simple, because the points and miles game is complicated enough. Keep your personal finance, like, simplify that. Keep that simple, because like you can have like 10, 20, 30, or Kiki Adventure level credit cards in your wallet. Leave that complication on there. Don't let your finances be that complicated, especially if you have a family. It makes it even worse. I'm not even married. I'm legally single in a relationship, and I'm looking at trying to simplify my finances again because I went too crazy with bank bonuses and I have way too many checking accounts. But I only have one brokerage account I have one Roth IRA and I have like 3 different retirement accounts from other jobs that I'm trying to merge because it's driving me bonkers. So keep your personal finances simple. Don't go for smartly. It ain't worth it. That's just my 2 cents. Take it as you wish. I am an accountant and I do like personal finance. So there's my credentials.
There you go. All right. Next up in the news roundup, do we have any predictions on when American Express may be when Alaskan may be dropping the American Express point transfer capability with Hawaiian Airlines, and our speculative transfers in anyone's future? I will go first on this one. I will assume that as soon as Alaska Airlines can drop it legally, they will. I don't know if that's going to be by the end of this year or if it's going to be by the end of next year or whenever their legal stipulations state. But as soon as they can, the day after, they are closing that as soon as possible. Speculative transfers, we may have missed out on the best opportunity to with the 20% transfer bonus to Hawaiian. But if you want to make that bet before, the year is out on the merger or whatever, make that bet sooner than later. Mike, any thoughts on a prediction? Anything there?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a no-brainer because I'm in an Alaska hub. So even if I can't get the fancy business class redemptions on partner airlines, I know that I'll at least be able to fly on Alaska metal, even if it's not for great cent per point. So, I'm not as worried about them being orphaned. So I already moved 2/3 of my AmEx points. I'm considering doing more, and I don't know. I'm a little bit on the fence because I do want to make sure I leave enough transferable points for other ecosystems. Because as it is, I've been going kind of hard on the AA shopping stuff this year, and partly out of interest in status stuff and just trying that out. But I know that's a topic later. I might have to drop off before that, so just a caveat on that. So I'll just kind of drop that as a little bookmark for later. But so because I'm already kind of overly invested in One World, now I've got a ton of Alaska miles. I got a reasonable stash of AA miles. But I'm in a United hub, so I want to make sure that I can transfer to Avianca, or I can, any other partners that are in either Star Alliance or on SkyTeam for that matter. I had a great experience flying to Europe this summer or this spring on KLM, and so that's a great redemption, and that seems relatively easy to get. So. Now that said, I mean, I do have the Venture X, and I use that for a reasonable amount of catch-all things, and they transfer to most of the same partners that I'm interested in that AmEx does. And you can still transfer from Bilt, but we all know it's hard to stockpile Bilt points. So I don't know. I feel like I could do a little bit more, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Totally fair. Lonnie, any thoughts on when you'll lose the capability to transfer to Hawaiian from American Express, and any speculative point transfer for you?
I'm right behind you, Matt, where the day after they can legally do it is going to drop off. And I would also say that I think that the last hurrah of transferring and getting any type of bonus, transfer, bonus, promotion, anything like that is over and done. You missed the train. It's left the station. It's gone. Like, take an Uber. Because acquisitions like this are not cheap. And especially after an acquisition, from a business standpoint, they need to recoup as much money as they possibly can in whatever way. So there are going to be promotions on the post-merger side, of course. Like, there's going to be stuff for you over there, but before all this, ink is dry, nothing's going to happen. And they got stock prices, they got shareholders. They just wrote a really fat check, larger than probably we all will see in our life, to get this done. yeah, they're not going to give you a promotion before this is all said and done. Like Hawaiian probably legally can't at this point because of where the acquisition currently is legally. They probably can't. And Alaskan is not going to like bring in someone new and be like, oh, we're going to honor this stuff. No, we've all seen like you went to a retail store or something like that, and then like they go out of business and like, you can't return that shirt again. They're out of business. You missed it, you know, and that's what this is. So I understand why it's news and why it's coming up, but folks, it's not. I'm sorry. You're not, there's no silver lining here. If you're waiting for something from Hawaiian, it's over. You missed it.
Yep. Tariq, any final thoughts on this? Or don't remember if you have a membership award points, but your thoughts here.
Nah, I don't have any MR cards, but I think like you said, Matt, as soon as they legally can, I would even say instead of the next day, probably like in the next like 10 hours, like as soon as they get it's like, okay, cool, they're gonna shut this down because I mean they're probably losing some money on this, you know, having all these Hawaiian miles that you could transfer to Alaska. So they're gonna cut that off as soon as they can because, you know, like Lonnie said, there's a bunch of acquisition costs and they spent a bunch of money to get this merger going on. So the last thing they want to do is give out free rides to people who haven't even done anything with Alaska. Like if you've done all your stuff with Hawaiian and you didn't even fly Hawaiian, and all of a sudden you just have like 250,000 MR points go to 250,000 Hawaiian miles that are now 250,000 Alaska miles. They're gonna be like, what the hell? No. And like if everybody and their mom is doing it, especially if there was like the 20% transfer bonus, yeah, no, that's way too much money in free flights that they're giving up because that $5 or that $11.20 round trip 9/11 fees are not recouping what they're getting in travel. So yeah. If you ain't done it yet, it's like Lonnie said, it's too late because as soon as they get it done, it's a wrap.
Absolutely.
And one more point to think about this, right? B of A right now is still the sole issuer of Alaska co-branded cards.
Yep.
And so, you know, the thing that we see with all the airline cards is a unique partnership with a single bank. And so presuming that B of A maintains that, then they're not going to want to give that piece of the pie to AmEx. So, yeah. And then that, you know, for me, the last question on this then is, so what happens to the Barclays Hawaiian cards? That's what I want to know.
So what I remember right before the acquisition was announced, Barclays announced that they had extended their contract with Hawaiian for 10 years. Barclays is going to get a nice, sweet kill fee for losing their cards. And Barclays just came in as a man in the middle and they're going to get paid one way or the other. And if it's losing those cards and giving those cards over to Bank of America, they're going to get a nice chunk of money for it. And if it's not losing those cards, they're going to get the equivalent. The Hawaiian cards are going to be the equivalent of the Red Aviator card and just be a source of pain for Alaska Airlines for a couple of years. American Airlines still hasn't figured out how to get rid of the Aviator cards. And since we haven't heard anything about American Airlines, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I don't think they're going exclusive with Citi. Again, Citi had 37 years to figure this out, and they have worse commitment issues than, I don't know, insert fictional character here. Josh Lyman, really.
Have any of you watched Sopranos?
Yes.
I know it's now an old show, but it's still one of my favorites. So, like in season 5, spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen it, but
it's been 20 years.
Yeah, you've had plenty of time, and everybody watching this has a card that gives them HBO Max for free in some way, shape, or form. So it's on you at this point. But in like season 5, there's a character named Vito, and he goes through a situation. I won't give the details of it. Not that I'm afraid to. I just don't want to spoil it. But basically he has a hit put out on him. If you don't know, Sopranos is like mobsters, gangsters. So literally a hit, the literal definition of a hit. And when you were mentioning the Hawaiian Barclays deal, it instantly reminded me of that, like sub storyline around Vito because there was one person that was like, "Oh, they're about to kill this dude. I know. I'm gonna go find him and ask him to borrow some money." And of course, he never has to pay it back. It was like, this is my business decision to like, hey, dude, I'm not gonna kill you, but can I borrow like $10,000? I was like, you know what? That was smart.
Yep. Barclays read the writing on the wall, and they went in, got a 10-year contract extension. They're going to get paid. All right, so that's going to do it for news. We're going to move over to topics, and while not typical for a guest, Mike, what is your topic of the week? And then after you present it, we'll just name one person, and we'll just keep going around the circle.
Sounds good. Well, my topic, I touched on it real quick, which is should airline status be a factor in point stacking when you are using shopping portals? So let's say you're using a site like Cashback Monitor and you're about to sign up for Blue Apron meal deliveries because it seems like there's a lot of VC money continuing to pour into all these meal delivery stuff. The bonuses are crazy on these right now. Just today, I signed up for Blue Apron using a Chase. Matt, you and I were going back and forth on this. The Chase Freedom Flex. Right now, I'm noticing that the highest UR awards that I've seen from any of the Chase cards are on the Flex. So I don't know, but 5,800 UR points for signing up for a subscription for Blue Apron, which you can do for as little as like $30 on your first box, which is crazy. But anyway, that's a bit of an aside. So if you're looking at Cashback Monitor, what I'm curious about these days is, I know that airline status, like chasing it is really of dubious value, but if you can do it along the way as just stacking points on things that you were going to buy anyway, and why not consider that? Like let's say that you use 3 main shopping portals. Let's say Rakuten, AA Shopping, and Chase, and maybe a cashback one thrown in there. There's a whole bunch of them. Some seem more reliable to me than others, and that's part of it too. Like honestly, I feel like I've had the most reliable and responsiveness from Rakuten. So I do feel like I'm a little biased towards them, and I do transfer them, or I do have them award to my AmEx MR. So that's, for me, that's a great way of building up my MR stash. And, so that's really the question here is for those of us interested in shopping portals and there's other things, but that's the biggest one for, point stacking on everyday spend. Would you consider airline status in that calculus when you're shopping, when you're comparing and you're saying, okay, well, I could get 4,000 points through Rakuten, or I could get 3,500 from American? Well, normally I would pick the 4,000, right? But the 3,500 American, you're also getting 3,500 loyalty points. So, maybe you can hit one of those tiers. And particularly if you're like me and you're in an Alaska hub, the reason I'm interested in this is because I want to get Alaska benefits. I'm much more interested in Alaska as a product, is actually flying their metal, than I am AA. And so to me, I'm interested to try that out. And the whole reason I'm bringing this up is actually because Alaska, they announced some major changes to their mileage plan for next year. And, the 2 biggest ones, one is now you can earn EQMs, as they're called, their equivalent of loyalty points, by the shopping portal. So now they've joined AA as being one of the only real 2 airlines that give you that option to earn not only redeemable miles, but also, loyalty points through the spend, through your, everyday spend, which, that's really interesting. And on award flights booked through partners, which is the only one that does that. So, I might actually consider switching if I hadn't put so much work into AA and wanting to see how that works on Alaska next year. I might have actually considered switching to Alaska next year, but I might actually kind of wait and see, how far I'm about to hit Platinum Pro, and then just kind of like I'm going to coast from there, because you actually max out in terms of, the two highest levels get the same equivalent level of status on Alaska, meaning you don't get any additional bump from going from Platinum Pro to Executive Platinum with AA. So for me, I'm going to kind of coast and see what it does for me for next year. So just some food for thought. With that, I actually do need to, I'm gonna hear you guys' response on this, at least for a little bit, but I have to sign off in a few minutes. So, thanks again so much for hosting me, Matt, and thanks to Tariq and Lonnie for the discussion, and looking forward to seeing the recording.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, Tariq, do you want to take a first crack at that?
Yeah. So I think if for status, throwing status in the equation truly does depend on your preferred airline, because obviously with American, and obviously going in the future in 2025 with Alaska, where the miles you earn also are loyalty points for status. I feel like depending on like the other legacy carriers like United or Delta or even Southwest, it's a little bit more difficult to earn through the shopping portal in order to earn status. For the most part, you have to just put spend on their premium credit cards. So unless you're going to use the shopping portal with their card and then do it that way, I feel like that status doesn't play into effect. So I feel like any other airline, I wouldn't do it for status, but it would play in effect if, for like example, Lonnie and me, because I've listened to him for so long about it. If you're trying to earn just a bunch of United miles or Delta miles, whatever, use the portal if you're trying to, stack up on United miles. And with MileagePlus X, obviously you can stack gift cards. And I've talked about this too much. I've talked y'all's ears off because, Lonnie told me like in like 1 hour conversation, and I preached the gospel of MileagePlus X. But I think at that point, outside of your preferred airline, looking at your transfer partners, because I have looked at United's shopping portal and I've compared it to like the Chase shopping portal. And I've looked at I've realized that I can turn my Chase points into United miles if I want to. So I would go with the higher points amounts. Like I did Factor and I want to say HelloFresh with my Freedom Flex. Plus I have the 5X gas and grocery on there. So I earned, I want to say close to like 13,000 UR points just for signing up for those. So that's where those benefits go in for me. So I would look at it as what has the highest outside of America. If you're not using American or Alaska or any other airline that you can do like 1-to-1 where the points that you earn or the miles you earn are loyalty points. Like if you're wanting the status chase, yeah, absolutely go for that. Outside of that, look at your preferred partners and see where you're going to earn the most. And if you have a setup where you are like Chase or American Express, where you can transfer your transferable currencies to your airline or hotel partners that you choose, go with whatever the higher amount is. So like if Rakuten is going to give you like 10x MR points where you can only earn like 5x Delta miles, yeah, go for the MR points over the Delta miles. Same thing with Chase and United, input whatever your brand is. I would say go with the higher amount. Go with the higher amount if it's transferable, unless you can really kind of stack with multiple avenues. Like I said, I've mentioned MileagePlus X a lot because you can do the gift cards with the shopping portal. And then if you have a United card, you get the 25% boost on that. And yeah, sure, you might earn more United miles than Chase points. So I would do it in that hierarchy. If it can earn you 1-to-1 points for status, go with your airline transfer partner. If not, go with what's going to earn you what's higher, whether it be your airline miles or your transferable points. That's how I see it. Go what's going to earn you the most.
Matt, quick request to you in the description, can you put a link to some of the videos that you guys have talked about the Mileage X, where I can learn a little bit, because I haven't used that yet.
Just or we'll just link Lonnie's video that he did on his most recent United Explorer video.
We can do that.
One.
Like half the episodes we'll cover MileagePlus X in one way or another. Just whatever you do, Mike, do not try to make it a drinking game. You will die. Yeah.
Within the first 5 minutes, mind you.
I wasn't even gonna go there. Mike, do you still have time for other answers, or do you need to drop off now?
I could do a quick hit. Sure.
Lonnie, real quick.
Yeah, let me try to shotgun this as much as I can. But before I do that, Mike, thanks for coming. Pleasure to meet you. It's been great having you here. I just want to get that while we're recording and not hit you up afterwards. But
yep.
Really appreciate you being here. But to answer your question, yes, status matters, but not in the way that people think, because earning miles won't actually get you status. Like with any airline, you can earn hundreds of thousands of their frequent flyer miles and you still won't get status. But status does come in handy when you want to help save those miles or get a promotional or discount. So I'm a United person. I don't know if Tariq told you that, if you caught that on from him or whatnot, but yeah, so I'm a United person. And I have their top tier public status. So I've been 1K year over year. Now, the thing about that is that I'll get so many different rewards because of my 1K status. So not just save 10% because it's a save reward. I'll get, because I also hold their United credit card as well, the co-branded card. There's times where, when I had jumped on, or I said I've literally been on trips every 2 weeks. And a lot of that was because I got offers 40% off the saver price, or the take a break from business price on a lot of these different trips, where it's just I'd be an idiot not to take advantage of these, and it's cost me nothing because I can use my miles, or I can pay cash, whichever way. It's here's the percentage off. To go back to your question, that will influence my decision on which type of shopping portal I would use. Will it be the United shopping portal? Obviously, I'm not using AA or Delta, but for those listening, of course, pick your partners. I'm going to pick your partners in neon right here behind my head. Just so that's always just there for everybody. Rule number 1, don't talk about Fight Club. 2, pick your partners.
It's going to be our first shirt when we figure out merch.
It's going to be Lonnie just don't make me tap the sign. And it's just saying, pick your partners.
But going back to what Tariq had mentioned is, I would actually say the biggest influential decision on which shopping portal to use is what currency do you need. If you are points poor on Chase points, go with the Chase portal. And then, of course, as Tariq mentioned, you can get, you can transfer those out to their partners later if you needed to. In my case, I could transfer them out to United if I needed to. But let's just say there are certain types of promotions and awards that only you can do with United miles. So if I want to take advantage of United excursionist perk, so if I'm going to fly to another country in another United region, I have to use United miles. You can't pay cash for that. So if I was United miles poor, then yeah, I want to build up as many United miles as I can so I could be able to take advantage of that. I know when I had jumped on, you were talking about cruises and Matt made a cruise joke, but I literally just booked a cruise with United miles because I had a 1K promotion towards that particular offer. It was only given there. So I used 100% miles, and my wife and my son and I, we just got off Icon of the Seas, the world's largest cruise ship, a couple of weeks ago. So in that case, yes, I could have just transferred Chase points, but I want to keep my Chase points over there. I already have enough United miles, but because I had enough United miles, let's pretend I didn't. That would influence me to use the United shopping portal versus Chase's shopping portal. Now, at the same time, I'm going to touch on one other thing that Tarika said, going back to that transferring option is if you have different Chase cards, people, and this is slightly tangent from your question, Mike, is pay attention to which cards get what offers, because not all cards. So let's say I go to my United shopping portal and I see my retailer and it says 5 miles per dollar. I can go to the exact same retailer in the Chase travel portal and it might say 8 points per dollar, which is obviously better. 8's more than 5. But your Chase Sapphire card might say 10. Your Freedom Flex might say 7. Your Freedom Unlimited might say 2. So also pay attention to which card you're using, because Chase it really does fluctuate, even on the ink cards, on which could be best. So it doesn't mean because I have a $550 Sapphire Reserve, I'm always going to get the best deal. No, sometimes, like right now in Q4 with the Freedom Flex, I get better deals than what I would get on my CSR. So there's reasons to pick one over the other. So if I'm like getting 10x in the Chase travel portal and United's only going to give me 4, even if I needed United miles, I'm going to go over there, because that's that's money in the bank. You're just leaving money on the table at that point. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it. But I would say more importantly, yes, have a plan, pick your partners, and, you don't have to rush through it. Take a second. I know Chase Travel Portal is annoying because you got to log in and click twice, in the sub menus. But you know what, y'all ain't got nowhere to be. Y'all, if you're already shopping online, just take the extra 2 minutes and click the mouse twice, okay? But that's how I would answer your question.
Mike, I apologize for any errors I made earlier today with regard to that. I forgot that Chase did it by a card. So anyway.
I'm gonna watch the replay of this, because that was a good density of information, and yeah, there's a lot to process there. I mean, I'll just say that as I look into the mileage, or the United, the Mile X. How do you say that? The
MileagePlus X.
MileagePlus X. Yeah.
I swear I wish I had a referral code for that app.
Honestly, same. I think I remember, like, when I was at the venture capital Discord, like the first week of using it, I was like, "Thank you, Lottie. You've changed my life forever."
I've gotten I've gotten more people on that app than I've gotten referrals on the actual card. Like, I would be so happy if I could get like just 500 miles for every time I referred somebody to that app.
Like Scrooge McDuck in his vault in just United miles, just off referrals on that app.
Yeah,
they lock you out once.
I would say either do it.
So it's like, if you're earning the same amount of Chase points versus United miles on a given, option, one isn't necessarily better than the other. If you're earning the same number of UR points versus same number of United miles, right? Like, there isn't an additional benefit of going through the United portal with respect to United, other than the gift you mentioned. Like, is that United gift cards what you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, so your shopping portal is just a shopping portal. The Chase portal, obviously it's a Chase portal, but the MileagePlus X is a gift card app. Now, there's a couple of things here. So with the United shopping portal, you can use a gift card at any given time, with any retailer. But then you can also pay with any card that you have. So I don't have to use United shopping portal and pay with my United card. I can pay with an American Express. I can pay with any card that I got. With the Chase shopping portal, though, you do have to pay with one of the Chase cards that you currently have. So if I can do the drop down and put it on my Sapphire Reserve and play with my Freedom Unlimited if I want. They don't care, because I'm still in the Chase portal. I have both cards. I'll get my points at the end of that transaction. But I can't go to the Chase shopping portal and pay with an AmEx card. Chase will kill that. They're like, no, we're not giving you anything on that. Which is very new. It didn't used to be that way. That's something that they caught on. So, when a good thing's out there and everybody talks about it, the word gets out and then they nerf it. that part's been nerfed. You do have to pay with the Chase card. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because if you use the MileagePlus X app, and let's say I'm going to Adidas, which is one of my favorite retailers right now, because it's like 10x in that app and 10x with Chase, which is you're starting off at like 20, 21, depending on which card you're actually using to pay. You can do like almost the entire transaction minus like, call it $5 on the gift card, and then pay the last $5 using your Chase card, and they'll give you all the points from your transaction. So get it before they nerf it, y'all. I'm not going to say this twice.
Yep.
I've just gone to school.
I do this, Mike.
Oh, you haven't
I
even,
do
this wasn't even a
this.
full conversation. Lonnie talked to me for like 2 hours on MileagePlus X, and I downloaded the app like literally the next morning when I woke up. And between MileagePlus X, my points, I've already accumulated in like 6 months, like 55,000 United miles.
Yeah. I don't just do this. I do's this. I do this.
Okay, well, one more quick question. How are you getting 1K each year unless you're having your job pay for you, or is your job paying you to travel?
So yes, I am not afraid to admit it. I do travel for work, and I would probably not hit 1K without my work travel. Not afraid to admit it, being honest, transparent with the listeners and viewers. But yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Absolutely, Mike. Before you go, where can we find you on YouTube and various places?
So it's at What's the Points 1.
Perfect. All right. Well, like and subscribe Mike's videos. They're definitely cerebral for me, and I like cerebral credit card videos. So there we go. Mike, thanks so much for joining us. I know you have to drop off, and appreciate your time. Sorry we couldn't have you for longer.
Next time. Yeah, my pleasure. Take care, y'all.
Absolutely. Whoa. All right. And my answer. RJ will edit this up.
RJ, edit this out.
Thanks, guys. You are loopy, sir.
I'm done. I'm done.
To answer Mike's question, I would say if he was going to determine where he wants to prioritize, if he wants to prioritize American status to status match over to Alaska to fly Alaska metal, use the American portal first. If he wants to just go with EQMs that way, go with the Alaska portal. I think the American portal until he gets relevant status that he wants, and then he can transfer, and then he can status match over. That's fine, and then go wherever your points pour. So if Rakuten can get you membership reward points, boom, do that. I still have to do that. I'm going to get yelled at again by RJ and Key and probably Lonnie at this point for not having membership rewards as my option for Rakuten. Anyway,
what? Set it up. I'm gonna yell at you, and I don't even have an MR card. Shame on you.
Stop it. I'd like the money so far. Top Cashback, which has been coming out slightly higher than Rakuten, and I've been going to who's paying me the most. So I've been getting more points out of more cashback out of Top Cashback than the others. But yeah, Cashback Monitor is a great aggregating tool for that. And I would say whatever your mission is, accomplish your mission first, then go wherever your points pour. If you need membership reward points, use Rakuten. If you want some more cash back, use Top Cashback or utilize Cashback Monitor for whoever's going to give you the best deal. You need UR points, Chase Shopping Portal. I wish there was a Chase Shopping Portal app separate from going through Chase Ultimate Rewards. And yeah. So that's where I'd go. Tariq, what is your topic of the week?
So over the weekend, when I was catching up on YouTube videos, I still have a lot to catch up on. I've been behind because of work. I watched Anthony Venture's video that he did on the recent changes that Chase and American Express did. And I wanted to highlight more specifically on the Chase side because he was talking about what Chase was kind of doing in the background for the inks. He mentioned a Dr. Credit article that they did a survey on your approval odds based on the number of ink cards that you had. I think it was listed if you didn't have an ink card, it was 87% chance of getting approved. If you had one, 68, 2, 57, 3, I forgot how it exactly, but it got down to like 40 something percent. So it was like the more ink cards that you held, the lower your chance of getting the approval based on the sample size of that survey. Obviously, it was a survey that was done, and we don't know how much it is. We need more data points to kind of prove that can either confirm or deny this claim. But it had me thinking, because the big thing that we've talked about, at least on the Chase side, is the ink train, where you're going to get the ink with your social security number, EIN, LLC, your grass cutting business that you haven't done in like 15 years, but you still code it. So, because just the way to get, 75 to 90,000 UR points, just like that, because ink cards are crazy. Or if you get the ink preferred, it's like 80 to 100,000. So people have been doing like an ink a quarter, trying to get as many ink cards as they can, just to, go crazy on UR points, transfer them to Hyatt, because that's the number one. I'm guilty of it too. So it had me thinking, because of this data point that they had with Dr. Credit in the survey, and they're saying that your business type and like the income and like the business age doesn't play as much of an effect anymore. Is the ink train, and I'm being hyperbolic here, is the ink train starting to derail with these recent data points? And so, Matt, I want to start with you on that, because you have your inks, so I wanted to get your take on it.
Yeah, I have my inks. I'm starting to think of eliminating one of my inks to eventually reapply for that same ink, this time under my EIN, under that business structure, just to play a little bit nicer with Chase, because I want to keep my relationship with Chase as kosher as possible, or as strong as possible. Anyway, I don't think it's derailing, but I do think that Chase is starting to look at the repeat customers and the strong offenders, and I'm going to use offenders hyperbolically, but the folks who are coming back every quarter, every 2 months, those folks are going to start feeling the squeeze. But there's no limit to the number of $750 to $900 offers that they're going to present to potential businesses to get business income, to get business deposit accounts in with Chase. So they're going to keep the availability and the pool of money available. But it's my seventh EIN, and I just happen to have 3 LLCs, and there's my sole proprietorship. Sir, how are you working so many jobs at the same time? That person may not be able to pass go, collect $990 and move on. But they're still going to present $990 offers to folks who are starting up a business, who are starting up potentially a second business. Now, I'm not going to say that you're guaranteed to get that, but we now have our personal channels as one source of side hustle. We now can eventually use the podcast as another potential source of things. And then if we're doing things on the side, we potentially have three avenues. Does that mean we're all going to get 9 ink cards each? No. But Chase is not going to shut down or preemptively prevent any new business customer from coming in. It's the repeat folks who know the system and are gaming the system. Those folks may start seeing a bit of a squeeze. But again, we are working off of a non-scientific survey on r/churning that is self-selection bias and a small sample size to boot. It is not a very scientific survey. There's really nothing you can glean from it. And even scientific surveys, as I've learned in the last 3 weeks, don't matter. But Small sample size, but I'm going to go with the safest assumption is going to be if you're trying to get your 20th ink card and you haven't applied for a personal card from Chase in 5, 6, 7 years, Chase is wise to it. They know what you're doing, and they're probably going to decide that you don't really need that much credit on the business side of things. That is the assumption I'm working off of at the moment.
I feel like they're going to mess around, and for the repeat offenders, they're going to implement some kind of unofficial business 524 with Chase cards with all of this ink train that's going on. Lonnie, what do you think about the survey and potential for the ink train to be, I guess, dying down for the people that are trying to get all the inks?
2 things, maybe 3. The first thing is people love negativity, they love drama. And so the simple fact of almost to the point of Matt saying non-scientific, just one random person on the internet could be like, Chase is about to cancel ink cards. If you said that in Reddit, it will be trending tomorrow because it's just it's drama of some kind. The other
I
thing,
see the Ben Hedges video on that already.
Hey, Credit Warriors, we have new information on Reddit.
the other aspect, number 2, or could potentially be number 3, is what I had mentioned earlier of, a good thing. Chase knows there are people out there that are legitly getting ink cards. There are people that are not, and there are people that are gaming the system or playing the game like, us of this community do. And it will eventually get nerfed. It's not will it, it's when it. It's gonna get nerfed. It's gonna. And so let's just take this for what it's worth and say this is accurate, legit. This is something that's happening out there in the world. Well, those numbers, those approval acceptance numbers are literally telling you that, yes, this is happening and nerf's going to be on the way. Or they're just going to make it harder to get, like American Express didn't have 15 different credit cards when they opened up, and they still got one that's incredibly hard to get. They just can make all cards hard to get, That's the way that I see it. That's the way that I'm looking at it. So yeah, if we, as a culture of people, take advantage of anything, and a business starts losing on it, on their P&L, that little needle starts going into the red, they're going to nerf it. I mean, everybody knows the story of why it's called Black Friday, right? It's to get you back in the black, get you away from the red. You do a hoard sale of, we're going to take a bunch of stuff, put it on discount, and people are going to come bum rushing in, and we're going to be able to, get above the line. Chase can go Black Friday. And the thing is, Chase owes us nothing. You guys have heard us say this before. These credit card companies, these banks don't owe us as the community, the card holders, GD dime, not even a penny. So they can change any of this stuff whenever they want without explanation. It's in your contract, that folded piece of paper that you threw away. It's in there. It says they can do whatever they want. They also can do whatever they want with your points. They can just say your Chase points are worth nothing tomorrow and just cancel out and just walk out the back door. And there's nothing we can do about it. So I'm just saying. So if Chase says we're going to kill the ink train, let them. You can't stop them, so you might as well let them. But I guarantee you the creme de la creme of us in this community, the Matts, the Tariqs, the Lonnies, the RJs, I'm just calling out my co-host. Not
I like it.
We already are setting up a plan B. We got our go bag ready, waiting for Chase or AmEx to nerf us because they're like, all right, I'm just going to shift over here. You don't think it's happened to me before? It's definitely happened to me before.
Look, I've already prepared my next card for when my gas and
Tariq's on mute, and I still know what he's saying.
Wait, I'm on mute. Y'all can't hear me?
Oh, I can.
I was about to say, I guess me, Lonnie. I already had.
No, I just can't hear you guys. All right. I'm not on mute, but I literally cannot hear you guys. So anyway, Let me fix my audio, and I'll be right back, and y'all continue.
I was going to say, I have a contingency plan. My IHG Premier Business was acquired because my 5X gas on my Freedom Flex is going to expire in February or end of February. So yeah, I got my contingency plan. So I'm already prepared to see whatever's going to happen.
Yeah, I apparently have stumbled into the possibility of another business card that I have being potentially churnable because I opened one and then they sent me an offer for another one. It expired. I didn't take them up on it, but they're sending me offers for a second card, the exact same card. Maybe I'll take them up on it next time. If I can't get another ink card, maybe I'll just do that. All right. Lonnie, did you happen to have a topic for this week?
Unfortunately, no. I'm not, like, we don't leave that part in there, but I mean, we can go Nefarious if someone wants to go Nefarious. So, and the reason why I say that is because, as y'all know, I call myself a travel strategist. It's basically a travel hacker, but just more politically correct. But the thing is that we learn a lot of different tips and tricks within the game that aren't necessarily ethical. Like, we know we shouldn't do them, but we do because it still benefits us and it hasn't been nerfed yet. I just dropped one as Mike was walking out the door. Like, we got a lot of those. The thing is, like I said, today's a travel day. I am home now, but I had learned and realized that, well, not learned and realized, but I had parked the rental car at a parking garage that was no daily in and out privileges. It was attached to the hotel that I was at in Southern California. And it's supposed to be, if you stay overnight, it's $30 a day. First thought in my mind was like, y'all got to be kidding me. Y'all got robots handling this parking garage on this hotel. There's no way that you know if I'm in here for 2 days or 3 days or not. So once again, I'm just going to say, spoiler alert, disclaimer. If for anyone out there listening, if you don't want to do it, you don't got to do it. But I'm going to tell you that I did it, and I'm going to tell you what I did. But choose your own adventure. It's up to you. I'm not condoning it. I know it's wrong. There we go. Disclaimer over. So yeah, I left this morning and I just said I lost my ticket and only paid $30 for 1 day.
I was just about to say that's basically the same thing. Look, because I'm staying at a few Hyatts where they have the parking, and the parking is expensive. They want to do either valet or self parking, so I'll park at a nearby garage where it's overnight. And I'm looking at the rate, and I'm like, okay, if it's more than if it's like more $40 or $50 for my weekends, like for the stay, I'm just gonna say that I forgot my ticket, pay $30, and get on out of there.
Yeah, it was supposed to be $65 for overnight.
Yeah, I lost my ticket. Sorry.
So we're pushing almost $200 right there. Where I can just say I lost my ticket and pay $30. So yeah, I drove right out of there this morning, $30 on the CSR at 3 points per dollar, and headed off to the airport. So, are there any other nefarious, I don't condone it, choose your own adventure, do you, ain't none of my business strategies or hacks that maybe y'all aren't so proud of, but you still do it. You still do it. All right, Tariq's laughing the most, so I'm going to pass it off to him. You can't use parking garages. I already crossed that box off.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, the biggest one that we have, for let's be honest, are the people that get business cards that have a business. That's probably the big one, kind of probably shouldn't do it if you don't have a legitimate business, but if you can find a way, and if you're dealing with Chase that all they care about is your money at the end of the day, go for it. Dang, I'm trying to think. Do I have anything like I've been like kind of pretty much a rule follower for the most part. So I can't save too much. I mean, the only other thing that I could say was like when I was with my dad, when we were we went to a Wingtips lounge, and they don't do discounts, but my dad, being in the Air Force Reserve, was like, y'all do a military discount? and kind of use a little bit of charm that he had to convince the lady that was at the bar charging us for the admission to knock off like $20 off of our lounge admission because we didn't have lounge access or any cards. So, kind of just throw in the military. I used to have my dependent ID card, and I would just flash that all the time and get military discounts. So, yeah, I can't really think of many for travel hacking. I'm too new in the game. I gotta get some more experience and come back.
I'm okay with the ID one. My grad school ID doesn't have an expiration date on it. Yep. I still get my student discount whenever I can.
I am mad. I lost my student ID card at the rec center, probably like a week before I graduated, and I can't even remember why I couldn't get like a replacement. So if I still had my ID card, I would have been still getting my student discount because flash the card, no one's gonna know.
Yep.
Do you use that student ID for tech purchases?
Sometimes.
Totally fair.
Sometimes. If you're talking about the fruit company, you actually don't even need a student ID. There's a special website that just gives it to you. It's an honor system website straight from Apple. So you don't even need a student ID.
I'm currently rocking Friends and Family right now with the fruit company. 15% on base level things. New MacBook on the way. Dang it, just said it out loud. Anyway, Nefarious travel, choose your own adventure. I remember before the pandemic, there were hotels where you would have to pay extra to get breakfast, but it wasn't really enforced. Where you could just find your way to breakfast in the morning. That has gone away. So that is not something that's really all that nefarious anymore. But yeah, since then I haven't picked up anything else on the choose your own adventure. You are going to you could have issues if they find out. I remember sneaking a breakfast or two in the before times, but I haven't really seen the ability to do that because most places I stay right now, breakfast is included because I'm not going top end. So yeah, kind of a lame answer.
Not even go to a luxury hotel or even a mid luxury, top tier, middle type hotel and be like, but Kim told me I could get $50 off my room bill. For y'all that know, every luxury hotel in the U.S. has a Kim working there. Every single one.
I never tried that trick. Last time I set foot into a luxury-ish hotel, I walked out with a $400 bill. And I didn't even spend the night there. So, yeah.
What? You know what? I don't even know what you paid for. Let's just move on. Matt, you got your topic. I think.
Dinners get expensive. What can I say?
Fair enough.
Yeah. So my topic is kind of I don't know what I'm doing at the moment. So it's November of 2024. I don't have a new card strategy for 2025. There aren't any cards currently available that I am really desperate to get or will fit my strategy or do anything that I necessarily need to do for 2025. There are cards that I want. However, these cards don't exist. So I can't say that I want these cards if they don't exist. The three that come to mind offhand are the Wells Fargo Autograph Beyond, which is supposedly coming, but does not exist. The JetBlue premium card that is slated to arrive probably in time for JetBlue lounges as the way to get into the JetBlue lounges that have been announced for JFK and Boston. But again, does not exist. I cannot apply for that which does not exist. And the rumored high-end Hyatt card. And if Citi wanted to bring me into their orbit, Strata Elite, I want to see what that looks like. So I don't have a roadmap for 2025. I don't have I'm just going to grab another ink. I'm just going to grab another Signify. I'm just going to grab another. I don't have anything for 2025. And is that necessarily a bad thing? Not that I don't have a plan, but I'm not planning to just get cards to get cards. You know? Lonnie, do you find yourself in a state of analysis paralysis like me, or do you have your set agenda for 2025? I know Q1 is like when you get a new card. I'm assuming you probably have a card or two in mind that you have locked and loaded to get for Q1, but do you have anything else planned or a strategy being put together for column A?
Yeah, so I do my card strategies almost like hotels and airlines do their loyalty and status categories, where everything that I earn or applied for here in 2024 is my strategy for 2025. Now, you're absolutely right. Q1, I always get a new card because I have a lot of spend that comes up in Q1 and Q1 plus 1 month, i.e. tax season April. I'll probably get 2 cards in the first half of the year because I have another personal family vacation that I'm doing that we're going to spend a lot of money, like shopping, souvenirs, regular, well, like the flights, the hotels, all the rental cars, all that stuff's prepaid. Like I've already taken care of that. But like when we get there, food is not paid for. And so getting a new card, no matter what card, we all know the sign up bonus, that welcome spend is usually the highest amount of points or miles you'll get while ever holding that card. Yes, you can point stack and get up there and all that other stuff, but without doing any extra work, swipe the card and get like 15, 20 points per dollar. Come on, So to answer your question, right now, I am actually trying to break down which cards would actually make sense. Now, the thing is, I've been doing this so long and I've been putting so much time and effort and tenure into my plan A strategy that it's really hard. Like you were saying, Matt, I don't want to apply for cards just to be applying for them. I remember just a couple of weeks ago, the Ink Unlimited had the 90K offer, which I call the 99K offer, as we all know. But even I filled out half the application and backed out of it. It's like, I don't really need this right now. Now, the thing is, if they did that in Q1, I would 100% jump on it because I know I would hit that spend and all that other stuff. Blase. I'm not going to do et cetera, because I did that in the last episode. But I am looking at certain cards. Chances are, if Ink does another promotion of that kind in the first half of the year, I'll probably jump on it because that's an easy grab. I am looking at what alternatives I could add into my plan B strategy, i.e. like Hilton. I know you talk about Aspire and Surpass a lot. Do I necessarily need it? No, but at the same time, I don't, my AmEx points, my MR points are in my plan B strategy. So I could actually build strategy adjacent, I could say, that could be heavily revolved around Hilton. And the reason why I say that is if I were to look at a second hotel chain that I wanted to invest in, i.e. I've already got my IHG Premier card that I've applied for it, i.e. I invest in it. That's what I'm defining as investing. If I were to get another card, would a hotel card, would it be a Marriott? Would it be a Hilton? Right now, I think Hilton would be the best for me. And then, so that's not a set answer. I'm going to say I'm not guaranteed to get a Hilton card right now. I'm just saying, I'm speaking out loud here. But then on top of that, to answer your question, Matt, is my wife, my player 2. Like we are now incorporating, it's not just my strategy anymore. Now we have a family strategy, and the whole merger of points, like with Chase, I can transfer Chase points between her and I because we're married and under the same household. We can pool miles now with United. We're looking into those types of things because instead of me just saying, here's a card that I'm getting, or hey, here's the card you should get. What if there's a card that we should get, not authorized user? Literally, you get one, I get one. We can merge them together and we can literally burn the candle from both ends. So these are the types of things that I'm currently working through for 2025. Now, it's not 2025 what cards I'm going to get from my strategy, what I'm going to do for 2025. Everything I do in 2025 is a amalgamation that will be carried on onward into 2026, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely does. And you're mentioning your wife and joining you and creating that sort of joint strategy. There are potentially some things I can do on that side of things. I can't pool chase points right now because reasons, but I can pool other portions of our strategy of our travel together, like JetBlue. I could get my player to apply for a JetBlue card, get the 80,000 point welcome offer that's currently available and like $1,000 to spend through the app. Get that, put that in our pool, go from there. Look on for other ways to build out some strategies and like just make my hotel chain number the number that she'll transfer potential chase points to in the future or something like that. This way we can sidestep some of those things, which is potentially nefarious, but not really.
I would actually add on to that. So one of the main reason why I am starting to look differently at my strategy, the long-term strategy that is, and making sure that it is cohesive to the entire household is going back to Dad Club. Matt, I know you're aware of this as well because your child is older than my child. We've had this conversation before, but because my son just hit the 2 mark, like you have to buy a seat now. You know, they count as it's the same as an adult when you want to get that guest in your lounge as well, you know, because they're 2. And so because of that, we have officially crossed the line as of the end of September on his birthday of, you know, we're not just a family traveling with a child. We are officially family of 3. And of course, he has no skin in the game. He's not old enough to contribute. So if we want to continue our lifestyle and our travel days and the perks and benefits and stuff that we receive, of course, hotels are one thing. Rental cars, you know, you just rent one car. That, you know, just like a hotel room, you just get one room. But when it comes to the flights, some of the experiences, we need to cover him now because he can't contribute to the family. So we have to think of those types of things, which is, like I said, merging and pooling strategies are going to be really big for us moving forward. And then at the same time, like, I mean, I love my IHG properties. I love staying at Intercontinentals. I was just in New York last week. I didn't stay in the Intercontinental because, and we've mentioned this before, and RJ, I'm fortunate she's not here tonight, but she would love this, geolocation, where I needed to be on the island of Manhattan. In the winter of November, Times Square or Midtown was not the best option for me for where I was going to be spending my time. So I stayed at a non-IHG property so I could only walk 3 blocks instead of 30. So these are all the types of things that we need to be aware of and pay attention to and consider as we build these strategies. Now, like I said, I got a family of 3. A lot of the listeners are, you know, solo dolo, or you have people like Tariq that are just in committed relationships. There's extra layers that I would 100% say everyone needs to consider long-term versus, you know, what are we going to do in you know, Q1? What are we going to do in Q3 of 2025?
Yeah. Booking for 1, hard enough. Booking for 2, harder, but still doable. Booking for 3+, rough, because you start with that like, oh, it's a 40,000 point flight. No, your 40,000 point flight is now a 120,000 point flight. Thank you. That's before you get any other additions potentially. Like if you're going to book straight Polaris, like you got to book a Polaris flight for the kid.
Yeah. And as I was mentioning with Mike, being 1K and getting a discount on Polaris, if we want to sit in the front, yes, there's a toddler going to be sitting in a lay flat. Don't care. Keep walking to the back. Your seat's over there. Yeah. But we have to pay for that seat. The other aspect of it is, and here's another reason why status matters, because I'm 1K, all the people on my reservation, well, it doesn't even matter. No, not even that, but just guaranteed 9, just my family. Every single person gets 3 bags that can be up to 70 pounds. 9 70-pound bags, $0 if we really want to hit it. If we want to do that. So I mentioned I'm taking a friend's trip with my best friend from grad school and his wife and his 2 kids next year as well. I already told him, like, dude, don't even check your bags. Give them to me. And the reason why is, like you said, Matt, one, that's easy. Like if I had a platinum card, or which I do, but let's just say if I had a platinum card and I get my $200 airline credit to like give me my free check bag, when you have a family of 3 or 4, that $200 ain't going to stretch very far. So status matters. Status matters. All right, I'm getting off the mic now. I'm getting off the mic, I promise.
Tariq, am I a madman for not necessarily having a new card strategy for 2025? Just because right now, for what I do, nothing is of major interest. There's one offer that could compel me to get a personal card from Chase. There is no offers for no business cards at the moment. Citi doesn't interest me. Capital One doesn't interest me. I'm where I am with American Express. Like where I am I mad for thinking I don't really need any new cards right now?
Nah. I mean, if anything, you just sound kind of content with your current setup. Like if you don't have any like outstanding travel plans where you need to assess, where you need to rapidly re-up your balances on your point totals, whether it be UR points, MR points, JetBlue, miles, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can, steadily earn your points and miles through like your everyday spend, different stack opportunities that we talk about all the time. I mean, if you don't like obviously I have a few cards that I'm gonna get like starting probably mid next month, December, going in through like August. Like I have my strategy, but I also have like some travel that I plan on doing. And I'm like, okay, cool. I need to re-up my balances quick. But for you, it just sounds like you're just good. You don't need to necessarily open a card if you don't want to. And I mean, obviously you're not beholden to Chase marketing, but if like you don't have to burn a slot for Chase marketing or even Wells Fargo when they have it, you can let them kind of fall off. It kind of just allows you to think and look more into the future of what you want to do instead of just opening up like 3 cards in a quarter, card a month. You can just kind of assess and see like you said, the Autograph Beyond, Strata Elite, the hypothetical premium Hyatt card that may or may not come out. Like you can have time to kind of assess and see like, okay, where will these fit in your strategy? And you can look at your current strategy and see like the cards that you have, and maybe you're underutilizing a card where, you can get 3x on one category, but you can potentially get 4x. Or you can just look at your balances and see like, hey, I want to earn more Wells Fargo points, or I want to earn more UR points or MR points. And you can kind of just tweak your strategy that way. I think that within itself can be a strategy where you're not focused on card acquisition and hitting a sign-up bonus.
Yeah, I'm probably going to I'll probably have a better view of this by like the end of November, potentially going into Christmas. But like I've done the in cash welcome offer. That's almost done. I completed the membership rewards welcome offer on the Blue Business Plus. I can probably take Q1 just to spend down those balances. They're $0% APRs, but like don't keep those around too long. So take my time, kill those balances, and then kind of reassess from there. Autograph Beyond is the only Wells Fargo card that is of interest to me right now, unless I want to grab another Signify and smash another 50,000 points. If the Ink Unlimited 90K offer comes around again, I will probably cancel my Ink Unlimited, try to jump in on that Ink Unlimited welcome offer, because who doesn't need 99,000 Chase points? And then from there, I'm waiting to see what these cards look like, because if these cards are duds come out, I'm going to save myself the spot and then reassess and make a change if I need to. The only personal card I think I'm going to grab in the next 12 to 15 months for certain is going to be the JetBlue luxury card, depending on because that can get me into a JetBlue lounge. That's about it. And I'm only getting that card for lounge access, which sounds dumb. It sounds dumb, I know, but I really want to see that lounge at JFK. Yeah, so if these cards are duds, I'll just reassess. But yeah, it did strike me that it's like, oh, it's November. I don't really care about any cards right now. Like, there's nothing that's grabbing my interest. But no, you guys definitely make good points. So I think I'm okay for now. But I will always find time to extend and revise my remarks at a later date. With that, I think that will do it for this episode of Stack Your Points. Tariq, where's the best place to find you on the interwebs?
Well, you can find me in Twitter, X. Maybe I'll jump to Blue Sky eventually. Hell if I know. Social media outside of the YouTubes is a dumpster fire. But you can catch me eventually. I know I say this every week. I promise I'm not paying lip service. You'll get the video from Reek's Rewards once things squared away. Football season's almost over. So I'm going to have like very little excuses. Like the last home game is this Friday. So no more games for me after that, unless I go to a bowl game. But other than that, you can catch me on the Stack Your Points Discord. I'm in there semi-regularly. Been busy at work, so I haven't been like as active, but I respond when I can.
Get that video out there. Get those social media posts out there. We need more engagement. Good.
Understood.
Lonnie, where can we find you on the vast expanses of the internet?
You know what? You can find me on my couch in my sweatpants for the next few weeks, waiting on Tariq to finally upload his video. That's where you can find me. And if I'm not there, I'm on YouTube at Call Me Lonnie. All one word. Lonnie is spelled L-A-N-I. I'm also in the Discord. And also, can I give a quick shout out to all the folks that not just listen and watch, but also interact on Discord. But more importantly, I want to be a little selfish here. The ones that have reached out and DM'd me directly, just like giving me the appreciation and the letters of just like happiness of saying, I appreciate the knowledge you bring. I appreciate watching your content. I'm not going to lie, y'all. It really does mean a lot, and I really do appreciate it. And so thank you for all those that have taken the extra step, not just to go and watch my videos or watch my channel, but also to take that one little extra step to actually like acknowledge me and say, hey, I really appreciate what you do. Keep up the good work. It keeps me going. This stuff ain't easy. It's a lot of hard work. And you know what? Sometimes I'm not going to lie. I've wanted to quit already and I haven't done it yet. And so I really do appreciate you, every single one of you.
Did Lonnie just say he was going on strike until Tariq launches a video?
Sure. If that gets this video out.
And his audience is way bigger than mine.
Oh.
Lonnie's audience is way bigger.
Oh,
Lonnie's like got a meaningful number of members, and I love my members, but Lonnie's got way more than I do.
I'm one of those members. Oh God, these are probably gonna kick me off the membership. All right, cool, fine. I'll see what I can do.
All right, well, just get it done. Stop thinking, just do. Just put it out there. Just put it out there. It's the easiest thing.
Right.
Just put it out there.
Your first video is always going to suck, so get the sucky one out the way.
Yep. Stop it. Don't be perfect.
Yep.
Perfect never comes.
Okay.
All right, Tyler, the creator. Weird poll, I know. All right, we're going to leave on that awkward silence. As always, I'm Matt Clausen from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel. You can also find me in the Stack Your Points Discord, as well as other credit card Discords. Check out my channel. I do credit card news a lot, credit card opinion from time to time, and we'll hold long interviews with folks because I need to know what's happening with the U.S. Bank Smartly cards. SpeathCo, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time last week. With that, the Stack Your Points. If you want to give us a 5-star rating on the podcatcher of your choice, please feel free to do so. If you like what we do here on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button and leave us a comment, and join the Stack Your Points Discord as well. We love the engagement over there, and we love the community that we're building there. So this is Stack Your Points. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.